Howdys and salutations, y'all! Hope you're enjoying the music. I know I certainly am. I'm loving this hi-fi, and while it may get dull yet, I'm down for, well, I don't want to overcommit, but 2023 year of the hi-fi, I'm kind of down for that. I've had a lot of, well, y'all didn't hear the electro swing, y'all just got the lo-fi. Lo-fi and hi-fi. I had to figure out what fi means. I assumed it was fidelity. I don't know if that's accurate. Or if that original meaning has anything to... If that is the meaning, does it have anything to do with the actual music style, or is it just a name? Like, grunge music isn't inherently grungy. I guess it can be. Anyway. I don't know enough about grunge. Admittedly, that one's less my cup of tea. But yes! Y'all are probably here not for my inane ramblings on music names, although I'm down to do more of that if people are so inclined. But I suspect you might actually be here to see how the gate's going and see if I've actually held true and looked up what I was supposed to. And the answer is yes, yes I did for once. I always do it a little bit, but sometimes it's just like, you know, it's a cursory glance, it's technically enough to qualify, but like, yeah, you don't do it well. This time I tried to do it proper. So first off, excellent tutorial right here. Gonna throw that in chat so that y'all on the VOD at home have it too. I might put the link in the description, I don't know if I'll remember. By Ukra Media. UKRM Media, that one. Ooh, in my view, my username is purple, but in the stream view, it's still that orange that matches the gate suspiciously well. We'll think about that more later. Secret answer, we won't. But yes, this tutorial was excellent on specifically, because I'd been trying to do like, oh, let's get the lighting, let's tweak it so there's flat shadows. And I'm going to preface this, I'm not sure this design's going to work with flat shadows, but now that I sort of have an idea of what it is and how it works, we might be able to design stuff that would fit better. But we'll start with this. At the very least, we've got some texture on here. A little better texture variety would certainly help, and a simpler design, but that's neither here nor there. What I learned from this video, well, several things. One, I learned how to do that neat little outline effect you see on a lot of like Blender grease pencil looking stuff. But more importantly, I figured out how to actually get this flat with no shade. Not trying to throw any shade. I'm literally not trying to throw any shade. I want to stop throwing shade. Please, make the shadows go away. They're not welcome here right now. I need them to stop. But I do still need something that will define the shape of the gate, so I'm going to have to think about that. And any future ones. But first, why don't I actually show you how it was done, thanks to that tutorial. Excellent, excellent help. Let's go into the materials, because I was off the mark from the start. And in hindsight, if I'd been a lot more refreshed on Blender, I would have probably thought of this. The issue is not the lighting. The issue is different materials have different like ways they react to it. So we want, admittedly I would have not figured out, emission. And hold on, I know it looks bad. It'll look worse. Boom. Now there ain't nothing. However, if we get our colors back, which give me just a hot second here, because I know I screen capped those. Where the heck did I put them? Or actually, honestly, y'all want to try another color set? That one, I wasn't really feeling that one. And I had some fun with coolers the other day. We could go retro. We could go the pink gate. That's an option. This one's got some interesting variants. Maybe. It's more seaside. Give me just a hot second here. I'm gonna dig through some color palettes and see what I actually want to pull for y'all. This part I didn't think through. And I need to sort my photo library at all. I know some of these are in favorites, but from how many years ago? I periodically I go through coolers, and then like used to you could store them in the app, but then it became a paid thing, and I lost a bunch of them. Let's go for. How did I not think of this before? Okay, yep. I know what I'm doing. First off, this one, also a mission. Color, let's go with a nice. I think I want those ones for the gate. The gate's only got 2 colors, and we ain't doing shadows on it. Just I could manually do shadows. We'll think about it. Let's start with a nice soft, funky. Let's go for. What do I want to be the main, and what do I want to be? I want one more color in this palette. Oh well. We'll start with this. We'll just have an empty sky for now. Got ourselves a nice like charcoal gray look there. Charcoal grays are so nice, by the way. Like, I don't know why, they just make everything look a little softer and a little nicer. They're just cool. Okay, blue's our majority color. So I'm going to start with the, what's going to really play nice? We'll do 2 bold colors, and then we'll adjust the palette as needed. B08 4 CC. Boom. That ain't blue, but it is a color. And now to complement it, hopefully, and not just burn it the heck out, we've got 2 options here. 5DD, 9C, actually 3, but I hope we don't get to the 3rd one. Whoa, I typed that in wrong. 5DD, 9C1. There we go. Yeah, too much clash. That's kind of what I figured. So let's bring it into the world of pastel as well. ACF, CD9. There we go, that's a little softer. And then we can even have a little fun and give ourselves a nice world color that we'll probably regret, but that's okay. 665, 687. It feels like I'm typing in one of those. And then y'all have that 2-factor stuff where it has to generate a bunch of new passwords every time you use stuff. Anyway, that feels like that. Okay, but that's a start. And let's do ourselves a little render there. Oh, I adjusted the camera angle. That is well, it's something. The gate's too bright. I need to rethink my colors. I need to think about this once again in the context of it being flat colors and not actually having the shading gradients to soften edges between stuff. Ooh, but I will say from this angle, pretty well defined everything. Even the sides are well defined because we got this little notch and this here, so you sort of know where it is. Obviously, we lose some of the texture, like on the sides there, which is why we can add a few more materials to this mesh and really have some fun with it. It's also why I didn't want to use the... Well, I ought to not use the purple for the background. I ought to... We'll think about this. I'm on board with... I'm sure there's a way to actually do this properly instead of just manually coloring stuff. Because it's going to be kind of a pain on the... Oh, wait, no, edit mode. We're fine. We're fine. Still kind of a pain, truthfully. I want to be in face mode. That might be... Well, it might be better, but it's not. I'm sure I toggled the setting for this to make it all visible last time. All right. There we go. Cool. Good as new. But we can do manual shading, which feels like it's sort of a waste given that we're using Blender and it can figure all this stuff out. But we could, like, say, just make an imaginary light source and be like, I'm going to color in these ones with a slightly darker purple texture. And these ones, and then it would just be a lovely flat texture across the whole darn thing. And we'd be right as rain. I'd love to figure out how to calculate that, but that I didn't research in advance, and it's going to add a lot more time to this project that I don't really want to add to it. So, let me look at my other reference. That could be a nice addition. I'm going to actually do the thing I said I maybe wouldn't do. We're just going to do a quick manual. I'm not going to do anything crazy. Body, light, accent light. Then we need 2 more. Let's see. Okay, no, I don't want to copy the data path. I just want to... whatever. Once again, you'll be in a mission. body shade. And your color is going to be that dark background one, so I'm going to need to think up a different background color. Maybe just lean into the charcoal all the way? I don't know. There's another option I can consider. We'll see. But let's see. This is where we want that 665, 687. Seems like a stinking one-time password, but that's okay. And now I need to remember, I know we figured this out previously. How do I apply the texture to just some of the faces? It's easy. There's an easy way to do it. Oh, assign. Yeah, there we go. I need to do a lot more research before our next Blender escapade. Wow, I just straight up make sure I'm actually prepped for what we want to do and I'm not as rusty as this one has been, because this has been a little rough, not gonna lie. It's been fun though, and I think by the end of this gate's gonna look nice. Let's see, and you may have guessed we need one more of these. It's gonna be, whoops. No, not the preview, sorry. We're going to be doing the emission. And this one is going to be accent shade. And we're just gonna pull in this lovely, slightly darker of the mint, 5DD9C1. X will figure that out nicely. And I'll figure out what I'm doing with that later. No worries. But let's just assign those to the darker one. And I like this because I think it'll be a really vivid, vibrant color palette. But I do need to think. I'd love to figure out how to do this, properly and automatically with lighting and not manual texture adding. Because this is a little silly. Body shade, assign. There we go. That said, it should also get us a pretty nice look. And I am down for clean, sharp looks on this particular test, given that's part of my goal with this arch redo. Normally I wouldn't even bother with a redo of something this quick, but I wanted to see what we could do. And I'm going to keep it like this so that it seems like it's just painted on the surface and that it's not the whole thing etched out. And I realize that this is only going to work from this angle, so we're going to have the camera on this side. I've got an idea for it. We'll just pop it like that. In object mode, there we go. That's starting to look pretty crisp now, ain't it? We got to do the top, obviously. Get a little more underneath these to make them pop. But it doesn't take much. Shading doesn't take much. Just in general. Like a little, obviously, if you want to do a full thing, it's worth it. Like, there's great stuff you can do. But you can get a lot of impact with fairly small amounts of shading. It just takes a lot of practice to figure out which shading you need to do. And even then, it's not like anything crazy or magic, just a little practice, observing the world, reading guides, whatever. A lot of different ways to figure it out. There's a lot of different ways to learn how to do something, especially when it comes to art. I've always been something of a textbook learning guy myself, but at some point you've got to get hands-on or you don't actually learn this stuff. There we go. Kind of inclined to give these the shade. We'll see. It doesn't necessarily make sense. That's one that it'll give it better clarity on the shape, and so I'm kind of inclined to do it. But I'll check to make sure that actually looks decent before we do anything major with it. I do, however. Oh, cheapers. This one's going to be a right paint. Okay, hold on. One thing at a time. So we're assuming the light source is coming from over that away somewhere since we're putting the shadows on this side, which, by the way, let me just, for consistency's sake and in case any of it shows through in the final angle, boom. And all those down below too. Really, there ought to be some shadow on the arch itself cast by this, but I'm not worried too much about that yet. I'm just trying to give differentiation, not necessarily massive detail. I'll do a little more detail around the foot to make sure that it's consistent. Same with that light accent. I wanted it to look like the light source was below. I don't, though. We're already doing some shading to imply otherwise. I'll leave these ones, but I won't probably continue that. We'll do the shading on these sides, like these edge here, to give definition to this corner. And then we just got to sort of continue them along the edge there. We can decide if we want to do them on the inner edge of some of these. I'm not 100% sold it'll actually add that much value. But we can look into it, of course. Go into edit mode. Something is not right. I'm on the wrong object. That's why. I knew lining up like that was too good to be true. Okay, nope. Almost all of it. I'll take it. I will take that. Assign. Here we can get this little edge using control. And then we'll just do a little cleanup over here. Oh, shade, please. There we go. Oh, I assigned light to these, didn't I? Dagnabbit. Well, we can still use control to grab them. Boom. That'll be good. We'll do the same over there on that underside. And then I'll get the faces up there. We'll have to be a little clever for those, but that's nothing crazy. Oh, yep, we've got zoom distance issues. I gotta figure out... I'm sure it has to do with my cursor location. But yeah, there's something not right at times about how that moves. Most of the time it does it right, and the fact that it can intuit like the right scale for like distance from the object and stuff, y'all don't know. Well, some of y'all probably know. Y'all don't know how good that is. I have played in the early days when we were still figuring out some of this, like not that early days, but early enough that this stuff wasn't all a given, and navigating in 3D space was certainly not figured out as far as interfaces are concerned. And there's still room to improve, but like y'all don't know. Some of y'all don't, because they were so bad. Where either like it couldn't handle scale, so like moving, because I'm moving a lot more zoomed out than if I zoom in. The same amount of mouse movement is moving me a very small amount, but it just feels natural because they've got that figured out from scale. They didn't always have that. You zoom in and then you have to adjust your sensitivity, or you go like you scoot and you go flying a mile away. And used to, like, you see this lovely little axis thing, even when they figured that out. I know there's a proper name for it. I'm not using it. Nothing wrong with it. I've just forgotten it. But even once they figured that out, they didn't necessarily figure out how to make interfaces that would lock onto one axis while you moved a thing. And so you would move it along the X, and it would just casually also screw up the Y. And you'd be like, well, there was an old game I played as a fairly young kid, so it's, you know, all things considered, not that old. I'm not that old. Called Enigmo, and it was like a little puzzle game. It was not unlike Tube Twist or others like that, where you've got to help navigate stuff around the puzzle. Basically, you've got the first one you got a 2D space, and you have to help things like get from one end of the puzzle to the other. But then Enigmo released a 3D sequel, and it was, I would say, borderline unplayable. Perhaps young me just couldn't figure out the interface, and it was figure out a bowl, but it was certainly not intuitive. It was real rough. Let's see. Man, I grew up in the days when like computers came with Marble Blast Gold, like pre-installed as the bloatware. which for the record, again, I recognize isn't that long ago, but you know, by the age of people on Twitch, maybe it is. Those were good times. Not that I was good at that game. Holy cow, I was not, but it was an enjoyable game nonetheless. Okay. I only want to get the side. I'm not trying to get the depth or anything on this one. Which should make it comparatively easier than when we were modeling this and just making a real mess of it. For the record, there's much better ways to model this. I'm sure if I'd taken the time to learn on the node editor and stuff, there's ways we could have done this super easy. But I didn't want to spend the time on that when I thought that people would have more fun if we could just, like, again, I wasn't sure we were going to get anything done by the end of the month. So I was trying to not, like, any one of those steps could have eaten the whole month, just learning and really trying to get to know it right. So I was trying to balance learning it well, like not just sloppy garbage, but also, like, phooey. I love that undo handles selections in Blender. So many programs it doesn't. That's so nice. And I don't mean 3D programs, I just mean in general. Like Microsoft stinking Word. I don't like that it keeps... Well, I guess it just changes to whatever material it currently is, which makes sense. This means I gotta keep an eye on it. Okay, now let's look at this in object mode and see what we're thinking. There we go. That's got a little pop, don't it? Although actually having the shadow on the crenellations kind of makes me think we should have the shadow on the other side, like the back of the other crenellations. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's fine. I also feel like we should have a little something here, but I don't want to kill it in detail. Let me make sure I don't... I almost did it again where I had the, the ground layer here selected instead. I'm gonna just try that. I don't think it's gonna be right. Truthfully, I don't think that'll look good. I just want to test. Oh, well, this will be even easier. We got the combined face at the bottom. Still not seeing an option to select, like, all of them with one click, but I can get it with two now, which is pretty nice. Well, obviously, except for these end pieces. I don't think I selected those. Cool. For some reason, the lighting and the color made them just look a little bit selected, and I was like, uh-oh. And right now, I'm just going to do this side, and if we decide we want to do the back, like that one too, which would be good for a little more depth, truthfully. But it's going to mean that we have to do a little more other cleverness around some of the other sides. Okay. Assign. Okay, let's see what we're looking at now. There we go. Now we're talking. Yeah, this is a little jarring, but not the worst. The shadows on the top still feel off. That's okay. And obviously we've lost some definition with these. That's also okay. We can decide if we... Oh, wait. Duh, I'm a dum-dum. Including clicking the wrong object again. Three-dimensional objects have sides on all four sides sometimes. And if they do, I can just color those. Let's see. Do the same on this side. That might... it'll help give us a little more clarity in these sections. So even if they're not exactly where shadows ought to be, it'll still help sort of highlight the actual shape, which is good. But also, I think it will make them more believable. This is why you don't want to manually do this, though. If I just had a light source, it would have just done that, and I wouldn't have had to brain about it, you know? It's not like I did a great job braining about it. We're trial and erroring this, which is Again, if I wasn't just trying to get this one wrapped up and move on to animation and some other pieces, then I would be trying to do this better. Oh, dagnabbit. There we go. And for the record, again, I'm not burned out on Blender. I just want to. I'll be honest. This month, I just came off the holidays, and I was like, I've got an idea for one thing that'll take like no time, and I can jump right in. Which was cleaning up the other gate's path to look like it was walking, and doing some other cleanup and odds and ends. And I had some ideas. I wanted to figure out how to fix the rigging mess we'd made last time. But like I didn't really have the whole month planned out like I usually like to. And okay, yeah, that looks a lot more believable without having too much detail. I like how clean this one looks though. Like there's something to be said for not having too many shadows, but we'll see. We'll see. This is kind of a cool effect with just those lines and nothing else visible. Okay, hold on. I know from our render view this is going to look bad. Oh, by the way, I did do some render setting tweaks. So that should run a lot faster now. I went back and reviewed the donut tut. Yeah, see, this looks bad. There's no obvious light source in the world. Its shadows aren't really lined up in the way that's meaningful with the camera. You'd expect some over here that aren't there. So we need to move the camera, which is an easy thing to do. We click this to go to camera view, or back out, or back in. We click view. We go to camera 2, and this is view. So now, with this little red border, they're tied together, and the camera will just go wherever the heck I want it to. Whoa. Render distance, not great on this bad boy. And by not great, I mean really awful. Also, ground doesn't seem to move. I'm really low to the ground, aren't I? Am I? Oh, where is my center of rotation on this? Okay, hold on. We need to do some camera updates, because what the heck is happening with you, man? Camera. Yeah, we can do orthographic, but that's not solving the problem. Panoramic, also lovely, also not solving it. Perspective. Focal length, I'd hate to mess with focal length, because that can mess with other things. I don't know a ton about it. And I remember seeing this in the donut guide. So default 50, huh? Let's try 150 mm. Yeah, I didn't think so. I thought that figured that would just be adjusting zoom of the center versus the edges. Yeah. Camera. Viewport display. Oh, yeah, that just grays out the parts that aren't actually in the camera. That's just handy. Okay, come on. Why is my render distance so bad? Or rather, the gate may just be really big, but I need to adjust it to be scaled. Yeah, no, that's not the figures. Okay, I'm gonna actually look this one up, because this one should just be a quick, like, Firefox, and we'll be set. Blender increase camera render distance. I don't like how quickly it auto-filled some of that. Clipping distance. Clip start. Ah! There we go. Cool. So let's see. The thing with this is we can give ourselves a nice sort of 3/4 view thing going here. We can make it a little more in focus than that. Let's leave it there for now. Let's Since this doesn't have shadows, I've got a little more freedom to what exactly I want to do with it. Oh, jeepers, I always... There we go. Cool. And now, just to make sure that this isn't, like, overlapping with it or anything weird. Nah, we're good. Oh, yeah, we're good. Let's see. If I were to look at this plane's material, I'm going to try to come up with one more color that'll mesh with this nicely. Where does it fall on the color wheel? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. So it's hex 2222. Default is 000, max is FFF. Let's see. I'd probably want DDDDD for a nice, oops, 6Ds. For a nice contrasting white that isn't overbearingly so. Let's add a mesh plane. Scooch it over. Scale the heck out of it. I'll remember the hotkeys one of these days. I promise. I don't promise that. That edge is gonna be in camera, but that's fine for now. Step one on this is just get a material in here so it don't clash so bad. I always call it plateau form when I'm writing. Don't know why. I don't know why I muscle memoried that single word wrong. Just objectively wrong. There we go. A little more muted, a little less harsh on the eyes. We could even try, like, cutting this down a little more. As long as it doesn't look too drab. Let's go back to CCC. There we go. And camera view. Oh, hey. Not too bad. Zoop. Good as new. Of course, we could also go for a deeper purple for this, or something that makes it look more like the gate, but still that the gate will contrast against. Well, in any case, let's do a render and see what we get. Quick, easy, and not the best resolution. Maybe because it's just so far away. Maybe we need to get a little more up in its face. It doesn't look bad from here. Also, that may just be a render settings things. I've got G-Compute on, or GPU Compute rather, which is good. Grease pencil. Okay, yeah, there's some other stuff, for the record, that we'll mess with in terms of rendering. In fact, one of them, what we can go ahead and do, I can find it. Freestyle, there we go. Freestyle will give everything borders, which is funky. But bear with me. I believe that it's here. We can adjust more details about the borders for now, but let's try a render with freestyle. For the record, I don't think this will look good unless we do some line color adjustments and some other things, but it's worth experiencing it. Yeah, see, stroke rendering. And yeah, doesn't work great this far out, and doesn't work great since we were going for those flat shadows, but has some real potential. Also, for whatever reason, it never seems to get this line very well, but it always seems to get that one. Is there a way? Oh, okay, hold on. Well, it's saying select by image border. I'm wondering, because really what you kind of expect to do is just do like well, there's a way to make it do just a silhouette pass, like outlining the silhouette, which would be kind of cool. Oh yeah, just get rid of those. Let's do type silhouette. Try it again. Oh yeah, the reason the quality's bad is partly because of the sped up rendering thing. Okay, so yeah, that's not working. Okay, what's the difference between, let's see, edge marks, I guess open mesh edges, boundary of visible and hidden faces. Outer silhouettes of a... Let's try this one. I don't think it's going to be the right one, but we'll try it, you know? Yeah. Material boundaries, that's interesting. Ridge and valley. Oh, that would be really useful for more smooth, rounded objects. Okay. Let's do material boundary. At least see what that gets us, because we're going to get, like, between these, but we may not get up and over here. Although, actually, there's a lot of different... There are 4 materials on here, so this will definitely be a mess. Yep. This one's technically not a material boundary because it actually goes to a face underneath and then down. These aren't adjacent. So that's interesting. Well, in any case, we'll set those back to normal. We can also adjust, like... Pardon my yawns. There are ways to adjust various other things, such as... Not here. Here, we can adjust the line weight and stuff like that. That one's easy right now. Interesting. Well, anyway, let's do another render, and let's... I'm actually going to go into my render settings here. Like, not this one. Viewport's fine and all. For the actual renders, oh yeah, I forgot to turn freestyle off. Let's give it a little more. Let's give it 800. We'll give it a little time, not 8,000. We'll see. I mean, I really don't need to with cycles. It's still just this. This is just a resolution issue, which I need to figure out where the heck that is. Probably just in export settings. Preferences. Pardon me. System. 32 undo steps. Probably ought to have more than that, but we'll leave it for now. Yeah, no, it's got the render options. I guess y'all can probably, I don't know, can y'all see my CPU and GPU type from this one? Yeah. Yep, we've got the 3060 in here, working nice and fine. No worries about, like, don't need a 3080 or 3090. That's way too much power, and it's not, like, yeah, it's always helpful for rendering, but, like, not at our level. Okay, well, let me... Blender render resolution. Output options. Oh, it's in here. Duh. Okay, we've got 1920 by 1080. We could go for 4K. Just see what the heck happens. That's what, 3840 by 2160? Oh, that's going to be a biggie. No, we're still not really getting... Whoa. Okay, hold on. I'll just let it do its thing. Still denoising, still all that jazz. Remaining... a little bit. Oh, maybe it's how the denoise works, because we're definitely still getting fuzzy edges on this. And the resolution was not... The resolution, I guess, is just the full image. I thought I would improve that, but I guess that wasn't the issue. So let's actually put that back. We got our frame rate and all that for actual animations. We got our export type. Okay, cool. We'll mess with that later, especially export type. But not for now. For now, I think this looks fine. What's something fun we could do? So it's not what I've done here. In the past, and I ought to do this more, I have a bit of a history. Well, here's the problem. The way I like to do stuff, usually I would want one more bold color in this color palette. Maybe I can grab like a nice pink or yellow that would suit it well. Although they'd be rough for backgrounds. But I like to have 3 strong colors in them for little projects like this, because I like an exciting, like, bold background color that still works nicely with the main object. And then anything that's like secondary, like this platform, would be what I use neutral tones on. But that's not really what we've ended up with here, and that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and save this image though. Still an image. Yeah, you can see I've been exporting stuff for the title cards. Day 4. Yeah, it's just day 4. If we have more than one day 4, then we'll name them the other ones. We still won't name this one. Let's see. We'll come back to that later. That's hardly critical. It just looks a little bit, well, that light color is a little washed out. But like, yeah, it mostly works. And we've got ourselves a nice scene going here. I mean, I could just make the world color this charcoal, and we wouldn't need this giant object, but it's fine. In fact, what did I leave the world color? It's still that purple, right? Like, if I move this way down and do a render, yeah, that's a look. That actually kind of works. Move that out of sight. I'm going to set this to a different material real quick. Ooh, that's a bold choice. Very, I've just realized, very Twitch colored. Could do. Because the other thing I'm struggling with, I'm trying to think about when we animate this. We got about 9 minutes until I start bothering with that. Is I do want it to believably look like the ground is moving. I mean, we could animate the gate actually walking, but that's way harder than just making like a 1-step or 2-step like walk cycle and then having the ground behind it and around it move. But I need something that would imply this is moving. I guess what we could do, I mean, obviously we can adjust the texture like we did with the other one and have the BRB. But what we can also do, well, the lack of shadows does make perspective just a tad harder to figure out. We could make just like a nice little object here. And I could make it this white. We could also make it the platform gray. But I think we make it match the gate itself. It gives it a little more spark. And just periodically we'll have that scoot by. Doesn't mean we'll have to animate it, but that's okay. It also means I should name it. Back, drop, just so that we know what the heck these are. Platform. I almost wrote platiform again. Right. Okay. Alright, let's look at animation. Let's get a view where we've at least got our colors working here. And let's close that one. I don't think that's doing us any good. What I will do is open another one here. Pop our graph editor in here. I think that'll do us more good having that horizontally down below. Okay, come on. Come on, nervous ticks in the wrist. Let's cooperate, shall we? Fine by me. Graph editor. Graph editor and dope sheet. Should hopefully play nice together. They don't play all that nice together, do they? No, they don't. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just have to deal with that. Yep, okay. Errors, hidden, selected. Let us grab that armature. Woo! The next great game show. Grab that armature. Go into pose mode. Think about exactly how I want this one to move. I want it to have some weight. So let's try. I have done something different with the bones. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Whoa, okay, hold on. Oh, yep, the other thing I need to do, armature. Wait, was it here? No. Viewport display, there we go. Nope, I thought that was it. I want to make it visible. Like through everything, just always visible. And I always forget where that option is. I sworn it was here. Yeah, it is viewport display, just not, okay. In front, there we go. Anyway, I want the whole armature keyframed. Ah, rats, okay. Yes. We'll do this, and once again, let's think through how long we want this to be. 24 frames a second. 24, 36, 48, 60, 72. That was garbage. What the heck did my brain just do? 24, 48, 96, and then another 24 gets us what, 130? 96 plus 24. 120. That makes more sense. Okay. 130 sounded wrong. Anyway, this whole thing, we're ending it at 120. And we're also keyframing this at 120 in the same spot. And we'll do it for 60 too. We'll have to change this. We will, don't worry, but for now, oh, wow, why is it not just doing it all the way through? Okay, well, anyway. Yeah, this is going to result in some weird follow-through. Because really one of, well, okay. We'll just, we're in pose mode. Give me my controls, please. Thank you. Alright, see, that's what I don't want to do. Oh boy. Place where some of these are mapped is a little off. Okay. How do we want to do this? How the heck did I do this the first time way back when I made it? I don't know. Because this is based on an old project that I've been sort of trying to recreate, but also trying to not. And I did it. I don't have the old project file. I just have the resulting export. So I don't know how the heck I did the armature for it, and it's driving me crazy. Having the tower mapped to the hip, like the top part, was probably a mistake. We can adjust that if needed. Whoops. Thunk. Thunk. Hit the soccer ball. Thunk. Ooh. I'm a character from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Okay, that's not fair. A lot of stuff in that game works just fine, so I hear. I can't vouch for it. I haven't played it. Hmm. Tell y'all what, it's just about 9 o'clock here, and I'm trying to do a better job of actually standing up once an hour and stretching because I realized my knees were getting a little bit not so cooperative in the world of actually, moving. And I've been there once and I don't need to do that again. So, thanks. No. Later. Okay. Tell you what, though, I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to actually stand up instead of trying to work and solve and stuff for once, and we'll just come back to this with a fresh brain that actually knows how to count by 24s. Maybe, no promises. And, yeah. We'll see if we can't get some motions going with this. Awkward, though they may be. I may have to remap some vertex groups, but now that we know how to do that, that's actually... I was about to say fairly painless. I don't want to commit to that, but I think it won't be too bad. So yeah, we're going to do a pause, and then we'll be back in just a few. See y'all then. Don't forget to drink some water. Howdys and salutations, y'all. Thanks for your patience. Hope you had a good pause, too. We will be jumping right back into it. Well, not quite right back into it. You see, yes, I want to work on the animation, but first, let's go back to modeling, I suppose. Ooh, nice view. Because I think that for our, object mode, edit mode, actually, vertex, well, no, object mode. Okay, the point is, we need to do a little cleanup on our vertex groups. Hip A and hip B have some vertices that I think best be belonging to the top sections. Okay, so we'll do it from this side. Fine, that's easy enough. Hip A currently owns the top of the tower. I don't think it should. Whereas A top owns this. I do like this in face mode for this. Deselect. Alright, deselect. So hip A, select. I'm going to be taking everything from here, or rather, everything from here and most of the tops here. And these ones, just in case. Removing them from hip A and assigning them to A top. So now, if I deselect, hip A just controls the actual hip joint connection here. Even excluding a little bit of these. We deselect that one. A top now controls a pretty sizable chunk with some weird gaps. Looks like, okay, it does control those. Doesn't control these. Does hip A control those? Yes, it does. I think this one right here needs to be removed from hip A and assigned to A top. Now let's try it. Hip A select. Deselect A top, select. Good, that's better. I'm okay with it having control over those. Let's do the same thing with B. Select. Everything up top. Most in the mid. And these we're going to remove from hip B, assign to B top. So now if we deselect everything, hip B is just the hip joint. A little bit on the edge, but that's okay. And B top has most of this, but once again, a couple weird gaps that I guess just I'm somehow missed with my multi-select. Let's do that. Assign those to B top. Deselect everything, select B top. Gaps dealt with. Okay. Now, let's go back to animation. Object mode, armature, pose mode. And let's see how these work now. This should... Yeah. I know that's more like the other one, but I also think it's more like what we want. So, Let me just doop, and we'll start getting on these poses right away. My hope, and we'll see if we can make it. I want to have this piece animated before the night is out, because we spent a lot of time on this last time, and I think we ought to just go for it this time. But part of that, walk cycles. And for walk cycles, I'm using the book. And while I do like this being an extremely slow walk, I think maybe we can do faster than we done been doing. Easy enough to do, moving the keyframes around. So, let's see. In fact, I may clear out all of our keyframes. Have a little fun with this real quick. Don't need this one too much yet. We're mostly going to be dealing with the dope sheet for now. I think I want our starting frame. We'll start on frame 1. Let's okay. That always does weirder things than I expect. I can just tear it, but let's not do that. Okay. I don't really want to mess so much with the hips, if I can help it. Like, we'll do a little bit, but I don't want to do much with them. We'll do a little bit. Okay, how much rotation is that? Hold on. Rotation from 0 is doing 14, I think. Close, like close-ish to it. Fine. Yep. Okay, hold on. Why are all the keyframes back? Okay, now I want to take the whole darn armature. Oh, okay. Only deleted them off one thing. That's fine. This right here. Let's see. We're not scaling anything, so that's fine. Mainly, I only care about the hips for this. So actually, yeah, let's just keyframe hip A and hip B here. Location and rotation. Okay, so we got that one. We're now going to, let's see, how quick do we actually want this to happen? I am down for a 48 frame cycle instead of the 120 frame cycle we've been doing. Let's see, one step every 48 would still put us at what, 96 for the total deal? That's 24, 48. Yeah, that'd be 4 seconds per step, or it'd be 2 seconds per step because, you know, for the full cycle it'd be 4. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. So 48, 96 will be our total thing. We're going to keep this real snappy compared to where we were. But that means, let's see, step forward, step back, return is what we have to fit into this window. And I wish I could remember that, because I do this every time and I forget exactly how much it's going to take. We basically got 5 sections here. That's why 120 was convenient. We may have to go a little further than 96 to re-loop it, but that's okay. 0, it'll be left leg forward. 48, it'll be right leg forward. 96, it'll be back to left leg forward. That's fine. Okay, that works. That works. What that means is that at 96, I want to keyframe this again. And then at 48, I want to do the exact opposite of what I've just done. So negative 14. Oh, no, hold on. Because that is going to be at negative 14 from the 14 we were at. So we need to be at negative 28. Or, okay, hold on. Let's just... Why do I not just have the darn rotation thing open? That'll make this much easier. For future ones, anyway. Which I've already sort of botched it with this one by getting off center, but that's okay. We're at negative 14, negative 28. That'll do. Location and rotation. Grab these and move them to frame 48, not frame 50. Cool. This is where this little doodad will potentially be handy. Although it's not, we need to, was it Alt that allowed us to vertical scale this? I gotta remember all my commands again. There, oh, it's Control, there we go. Okay, here we go. So it's pretty smooth right now. We may want to tweak this in the future, but at least we can see it there. We'll deal with the graph editor later, though. First, we gotta do them legs. Them legs got to be moving. So, for frame 0, I want this leg basically straight out forward, and I want the other leg basically straight out back. To achieve that, I have to have a little fun. It ought to be on the ground. Hold on, let's see. Gotcha. Okay. Alright, just checking my refs there. Gotta make sure. I'm using the not that old, the Animator's Survival Kit. Awesome book. And while I'm not following its walk style advice precisely, in no small part because this lacks an entire upper body, as you may have noticed. And because we've done this before and I don't want to spend all week on it. I'm gonna eye the location and rotation of just this dude. Then, I'm gonna copy these four. Drop them here. Oop-a-doop-a-doop, that's fine. Looks silly now, but we'll get there. Trust me, there is a method to this madness. It is madness, though. Same deal. Hold on, I need just these 4 points. Put them over one. There we go. Once again, I want to copy them. 96. Now, got some funky twisties going on. But this middle frame, you may have noticed, ain't exactly doing what you'd expect it to be doing. So, hold on. Let's see what our exact rotation on this one is. Gross. It's gross is what it is. Okay. What is that in radians? Probably not. Well, I don't know what those values. Okay. All I know is I want to basically do the same motion but in the opposite direction when we're here. Instead of being a neutral state, we kick it forward. But that's going to end up kicking us out which isn't necessarily... Yeah, no, we want to be kicking in. So I need to take these values and I believe invert them. We're going to see what happens. I don't think, honestly, I don't know that I need to invert all of them. Oops. Let's see, that's basically back where we were, isn't it? Yeah, that's not working. $48. If you're here, and I want to undo what I've done, can't really do that. This is because what I want to be able to do, just like copy and invert basically this position, but it's not as simple as that. And you know, it rightly couldn't be. But it's still a pain. Yeah, well, you can see we're getting some mesh tearing there. I want to try to avoid that, so let's use that a little. I'm going to try iframing this one. We'll see how it works. Okay. Is it as much forward as this one is? Does it have the right jaunt? The very slight inward tilt, the foot up. Foot is not as up. Also not at a true neutral point. Yeah, foot could be more up. Jaunt could be a little more jaunt, but it's actually not bad. Nope, we're getting some tear with that. We're always going to end up with a little bit, but I want to try to minimize it best I can. We're not always going to put a little bit, but with my skill level right now, we are, yes. Okay, that one's weird, though. The other thing that's hurting this is that we haven't got the other one going back to the point that it needs to, and so by comparison, it's not looking as good. So let's make sure, okay, so this one, it's basically the same jaunty bit, but in the other direction, is how we've been doing it. So we'll keep doing that for now. Actually, that's correct anyway, so good. I just need to make this one match that jaunt. That means taking you, actually you, rotating you up, rotating you inward a little bit. Whoops, nope, nope, okay. Just a little. Rotating you out like that a little. And minimizing some of this to try to mitigate tearing. We're gonna iframe it. Oh no, nope. You, I, that. Okay, so assuming we're looking at this now. There we go. Not the most convincing walk, but the motions are roughly correct. But we can give it a little more character, shall we? And not just by actually having it bounce up and down, because I actually may not do that on this walk. I may leave it. So it does look like it's dangling from its center point because it is, but that's okay. This is our start. Okay. Okay, so to get to here, that. Actually, that's that in the book. Okay. Use a little more kick probably, but that's fine. We'll work with it for now. You know what? Let's give it a little more kick. Oh, no, not that one. This one. There we go. That's got the character I want. Boom. There we go. Now if we're looking at it from the side, got like the same oomph. Nice, that's what we want. Okay, that was worth doing. However, there's some middle stuff we need to make work. Around here, here, we're basically vertical. That's fine. But, okay, I'm trying to visualize this in my, if I actually have the gate going the same direction as in the book, that might help. Alright, so there's our first pose. And that one will basically crouch in and under. Be straight by the time we get to that 25 point, though. So I'm actually going to iframe all three of these right there. We're going to, oops, yep, do basically the same thing again, but I'm going to have this tilt a little forward. And in order to make that convincing, we got to tilt this up a tad too. There we go. Actually, yeah, we want it to be tilted a little back. Okay, hold on. Let me think that through again. Here, right, we actually want that one tilted down, like it's on a tiptoe. There we go. That makes more sense in my head. We'll see if this is convincing. It most likely won't be, but, that's fine. These up. We're going to crouch it in more. Going to have that one kind of crouched up so that this can really crouch down. We're going to iframe the heck out of these three once again. Now, I didn't iframe them at the front, so they're not. Okay, hold on. I iframed all of them at these major key points. Okay. It's going to be a little hard to undo. Yeah, you can see it's got like a little outward tilt to it now. Ooh. There we go. Copy those and pop them at the 90 mark. Okay, now let's try that again. Yeah, not as believable without the actual weight of it going up and down. So we may need the top to go up and down and take the other stuff with it. We'll see. Position. That's okay though. Got a believable apex there. Really, I need this whole thing iframed here as well so that it's actually locked in. Cool. We'll have to do the same for the other side before we make this mistake again. Good to catch it once, bad to catch it twice. Let's see. That leg's falling behind it while that one moves ahead. Okay. We'll do the same series of motions on this other leg in the second half. But first off, we are learning from our mistakes and iframing all of these. Cool. Alright, so once again, we're on this neutral one. I think we actually want it to be a neutral one. Let me compare it. Was this where we started tilt the toe? No, it really was just pretty neutral when it's straight down like that. Okay. Okay, so this one is when it's got knee. Okay. Knee forward, foot back. Theoretically, it would actually be squatting down, but we're not quite there yet. Not the freeform move. Oh. Nope, not freeform. Foot sort of coming back. I can tell this is a different motion, and I think it's because I moved this third one too, but that's okay. We'll see which one works better. And this one is basically just foot straightened out on the back, right? Yeah. Yeah, foot poised to go, rather. I gotta keep that on even our main frames. That's okay, though. For now. I keep saying that's okay, though, but honestly, I kind of want to do it. Okay. Literally just for this. I have to have it here too. And on this one, I want to do the same deal, but with this point. I only need to make sure I have it here. And I don't want it to get too bow-legged throughout this process, as it's kind of want to do. Alright, hold on. This foot motion isn't smooth and natural at all. There's a point where it tries to move forward here for some reason. We're there, then you need... No. You're there. Then you need to be moving backwards. You're already having that back a little will help. It's smoother on this other one, but we'll see. This is the second half of the walk cycle now. Whilst this one's here, now it shall be the one actually supposed to be lifting off the ground. So the fact that that's not supposed to be lifting off the ground is probably a bad sign. Okay. At this point, it should start to really trail behind. Yeah, I should have had the hips move up and down with this. It would have made these look much more natural. But fixing that is going to take some time, so I want to work out these other ones first. Okay. Then lift. Actually, major forward, major. Whoa, not that other leg. Major back. There. And then pull the knee forward. This position, I want to be pulling the knee. Whoops. That one. Knee forward. These. Oh, nope, not free. There we go. Really kick it forward. And this foot is going to be starting to come into position. And then it does that kick forward. Yeah, okay. This is having the same issue the other one did, which is because I think I didn't bother to do the hips, and then they fought me on it, which they should have, because that's how hips work. Okay, so now we need to do this one in the first half, following that same rough principle. So at this frame, it's going to be smoothing everything pretty much all the way back. This is still on the ground, but whoa, not free move, once again. Okay, then next up, got it. Okay, so there we are. Then we got it up in the air, 90-degree angle. We're already pretty close, but we can really lean into it. Not free transform. Ah, I keep thinking I'm on the right line, and I don't want a free transform. Oh, it kicks back, and then the knee needs to pull forward, and then it'll straighten out. So here, need the knee up. Really have that lean back at the top too. That's fun. That's getting ready to land. Or rather, getting ready to pull through. So now, if we see this, it's not going to look right, but yep. For starters, these frames should have the feet facing down already. That goes for this one too. Okay. I should try to animate something that's not a walk cycle next time I'm doing this. Animation can be done so much more fluidly if you know what you're doing and you're not working with thinking the most complicated thing in the world to animate. There's more complicated stuff, but walk cycles are famously nasty. Point being, I somehow made the same stupid mistake I did last time. And I need to think this through. At these phases, the hips should be physically lower. The whole thing needs to be physically lower, actually. This one's fine. And we need to actually pop it up a little bit at the halfway mark. So I'm going to do this entirely with the hips vertical position, I think. And we'll see if it works. I'm gonna have to do it with everything. That's fine. By the time we get here, actually, I'm only going to keyframe it on the important ones. Down. That needs to be on the ground. Then back here, we're back up. There's, for the record, another up in there. This looks like it's skipping right now. In any case, this needs to be back down again, but on the ground. If we play this, well, that's janky as all get out. Mainly this bit right here, and the foot snapping back. Yeah, okay, I need to fix that one. Holy cow. Oh, okay. Okay, select these, Control C, B. Let's try that. Yeah, it's still doing it. Why is the rotation of this one not... Okay, hold on. Match it. Because this is where this one is keyframed. Oh. Alright, hold on. A. This one alone. Okay, fine. That one. This keyframe right now. This keyframe. Okay, fine. I. Location and rotation. No, just... I'm going to copy it. I'm going to punt it over to the end as well. Okay, I've got some footprint to fix. That's fairly fixable. And the up and down is at least working for a skip. I'd like to get it less... Actually, it kind of works. The like in and out rotations kind of work on the front. I just need to fix the amount that the toe goes up. Or rather, the rotation of the toe needs to continue. It's too flat there. Oh, it's trying to flatten back out to a neutral position here. So that's why it starts... Oh, that's why it starts flattening early. That's where the graph editor comes in. A bottom. Okay, thinking which line is which, though. I'm sure they're labeled, right? Good, okay. Specifically, X rotation. This one should not smoothly go. No. No. I don't want this to have any impact on this side. I just wanted to kick that one off. Nope, don't mess with this side. No. Don't go beyond it, but just wait until you trigger it. I do wish that these brackets could handle independently of each other. I don't see why they can't. Let's watch this motion now. Better. The heel still does some weird stuff, but it's not flattening out quite as badly as it was. Let's look at this one too, because it's doing a similar thing. Fine. And then it like kind of moves forward before it should really... When we're here, trying to... Yeah, it's moving into this square position here, and then it starts moving back again. I think the secret for this one is just going to be to iframe it rotated more back. Yeah, both of them. Then it's going to kind of kick forward as it sweeps, so that's still an issue. Honestly, do I need a rotation iframe on this one at all? Like, on this frame, this piece, just get rid of that. These four, just toss them. It's still not great, but it's better. Once again, I'd like to condense all of this into less time if I can. Which I can do. Oh, the graph editor's looking scary. That's fine, though. Truthfully, it is. I would like to see the summary on all the motions I had, but there we go. Let's see. I'm going to check if there's an easy function for this before I just try to manually do it. Blender. Keyframes. And I guess I could just play it at 48 frames per second, but that does seem like a slight waste. Press? What's the word for this? Okay, no. We'll just adjust our playback speed on this one. We'll make it look smoother, it'll be fine. To that end, let's go back to this view. We haven't animated this going under it yet. That's fine. We can clear that up on our last stream of the day, plus some cleanups, odds and ends. Not of the day, of the week. Plus odds and ends. Or we can get it going real fast. One way we could do it, that'd be very funny. And basically just scoot it and then move it under the road and scoot it back and up and back. Anyway, rendering, export, format, custom, 48. Sure, we'll regret that. That's fine. Yeah. I guess we could just step 2. That would also work. But we might miss some. I think they were all unevens, but not sure of that. Anyway, I'm gonna export this and see what we're looking at. Actually, yeah, it's not that many frames. Render animation. And it's like 3 seconds per frame right now. I do hope it's actually moving though. That'd be a little awkward if I forgot to push this to the... Oops. I'm gonna give it a little time and then we're gonna cut this short. I don't think that's moving. No, it's not. Cancel. Forgot an important piece. Oops. Dope sheet. This thing. Dope sheet. That thing. Thank you. Armature. Armature Action 01. Okay, I would like to save this animation and make sure that we add fake user. Good. Okay, good. That needs to happen. But also, oh, action editor. There we go. Armature Action 01. Dog. The only thing I can call that in good faith. Anyway, yes, Armature Action 01. Oh! Oh, okay, that's how you do that. Okay, we will be doing that with other things. But yeah, we're pushing this down onto the NLA stack. This is very jaunty and kind of doesn't work, but that's okay. Let's hold on, render. What would do animation do? It doesn't look like it's doing squat. Render, yeah, okay. Animation, like even on frame 0, it doesn't look like that. So that's. I don't know if there's something I need to do to apply it, or if this is one of those things where I just need to close Blender and reopen it. In either case, it's probably not wise to render it with 2 minutes left on the stream. So we may just leave it at that. We will come back next time. We will animate our little racing stripe going down the road, or some other variant of it. Even be arrows moving backwards, implying that it's sprinting towards something. But fun as this little jaunty sprint is, it does at least look a little faster. We'll keep building on it. In any case, I think this is where we're going to be wrapping it for today. Thank you all for joining. I hope you, I don't know, at least saw something interesting. If not, tune in next time. We rarely do the same thing too many times in a row here. We mix it up a lot. So we'll be jumping into some art stuff. I think next month is going to be some fan art things, but I can't commit to that yet. If not, I've got some art challenges in the works, or in the back burner, sort of like Swordtember. So we may have a go at some of that stuff. Be fun to really break in the new tablet, get into some technical things. It feels like it's been a long time since we just drawn stuff on here. So with that, I will see y'all next time. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, 3 a.m., whatever it happens to be. Take care of yourselves.